Lynette with Charmed Grammy Crochet. How are you doing today? Today is Thursday, 24th, 25th, I don't know, of April. And I want to thank you for joining me in the whip corner. This is what this is. This is where my whips are. All over here. It's a mess. This is my... Well, there are some finished projects in here because the drawers are big enough to hold like my sweaters and a couple of sweaters in here that I wear. But mostly this is all scraps that need to go into something one day. But you know, I like to make amigurumis and I do pull from here. So let's see, what do we have to talk about? I have some things to talk about, which is why we're in the whip corner, because whips are now foes. I have a couple. Yay! So since we last talked, I finished my nephew's blanket for the shower, which is Sunday. So this is, I added the extra third cake. If you don't know, I was trying to do it out of 2 skinny cakes, and it just wasn't big enough. But I added the third cake. So let's see, on this side, the third cake I think started about here. So it made it another 2 inches all the way around. Oh, maybe 4 inches. As long as my finger. So from here, yeah, from here up. That's what the third cake put on there. So these are Karen Skinny Cakes, the original color down here. I'll try to get a picture of this and put it in here because I can't stand up and show it to you. I have to move across the room. I guess I could do that. So this is Baked Alaska. There's 2 cakes of that. And then the last cake is chocolate chip. And they kind of just blend into each other, I think, good enough that it works. You know, it'll be fine. Amanda said it was fine. My Zoom sisters said it was fine. And everybody said, don't put the black border on it. So, no border. I said, yay, because I was really tired of working on it. So, this was 3 cakes and a little bit left over. Wait, I think I have it in this. I thought I stuck it in here so I could put it in the... Did I put it in the drawer? No. Well, I don't know where I put the leftover. Well, there was a ball about that size that was left over. And this is not on wheels, or I would just back you up. I guess I could turn you around. So hold on. Let me pause. Okay. Don't mind my vacuum cleaner. So it got this big. And it's definitely, if lengthwise, if I am on the couch, it cut, well, right from here, it's on the floor. So, good enough. They can cuddle up on it, you know, throw it over them if they're curled up on the couch, whatever. Hold on. Don't mind, we're just going to turn around. There we go. So the shower is Sunday. And the blanket is done. I just need to wrap it. So I started this I started it originally using different yarn, and I just didn't like the outcome of the first yarn. I was having a hard time working with it, and it was beautiful. It was a solid color. It was beautiful. But I was having a hard time working with it. So I went to this skinny cake yarn because of Shannon from another yarn. But I needed 3 cakes to make it big enough for an adult blanket versus a child's blanket. And so that's 3 skinny cakes. And I started the 3rd of March and I finished the 20th. I mean the 3rd of April, and I finished the 20th of April. But I also made other things, just a couple small things in the interim. but mostly I worked on that project. It was 3-weight yarn, and I used a 6mm hook. And that is the Bavarian stitch. This is the box I'm going to wrap it up in. That is the Bavarian stitch, and I used the tutorial from Bag O Day. I forgot to write her down. I have things that I'm talking about. That one's done. Then I had these things. I had 3 things, or 4 things. Four things that need to be done by May 1st. Well, that one needed to be done by April 28th. So that was the first thing and the biggest project. So that one's done. Then there is hooker versus hooker. That starts for the month. So at the end of the month, my hooker versus hooker needs to be done. And the hooker versus hooker is a monthly challenge that's hosted by Jan and Alaskan Crafter and Laura, Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming. They take themselves, one volunteering podcaster that you have to volunteer, watch the videos, they'll talk about it, and one subscriber who doesn't have channel content. And they compete to make whatever the project is using the yarn colors that are picked. Who picks the project in the yarn colors? Another podcaster and another subscriber. So they have no clue prior to the podcaster and subscriber pickers picking and coming live and saying what the project is that you're going to make. It's a broad scheme project, and up to 5 colors of yarn that you are allowed to use. And you can't use a 6th color. Sometimes embellishments are allowed. This month's project is Amigurumi. You are allowed to use safety eyes. You are allowed to use, I think you're allowed to use like pipe cleaners to give it into, I don't remember. When I was a picker, I picked, you had to do a plant or flowers. So you were allowed to use, for stems, you were allowed to use floral wire or pipe cleaners, or like crochet around those to make the stem bendable. So you could do like an amigurumi succulent, like I've done with some of those kits that I have, the crochet kits, or I would show you, but they have all been given away. I don't have any. Nancy from She's Got Yarn has one, and one of my subscribers / friends who Roy and Amanda both work with is sick, and she got one. And so I don't have any more of those. And Amanda has one. So I don't have any more of those to show you. But anyway, you could have done like an amigurumi kind of plant, or you could have done vines and just a flower, whatever you wanted. This month amigurumi is, or this month the yarn is amigurumi, or the project, and the colors are tan, pink, blue, orange, and green. So here was my yarn that I used, and I'm going to tell you, most of it, a lot of, well, we'll just go through. So this is the yarns that I used. This is Big Twist, this one, Big Twist Cream. This is Big Twist Bright Orange. Big Twist Slime. This is Red Heart Super Saver Pretty in Pink. And this is Mainstays Blue. I don't think it has any other name. Y'all know it's all 100% acrylic. You guys know those yarns. I don't need to go over the stats of them for you. They're all 100% value yarns. Now all of these yarns are gonna, let's see. This yarn, I know I grabbed it out of my scrap bin, so it goes back in the scrap bin. The cream color, I think I have more of that, so it'll go in the bag in my yarn room. The lime green, and I barely used any of. I think I have more of this color, so it'll go back in the yarn room. And I don't know if I have more of this color. If I have more of the color, it goes back in with the color. If I don't, this for sure will go in my scrap bin. This one, I don't know, I didn't use very much of it, so it's like almost a full skein. You'll see when I show you the project. Now, the project that I made came from this book, Annie's Crochet Amigurumi to Crochet. Okay, that word wasn't working for me too well, was it? And I made the giraffe right there. So this book, beautiful, great photography. Let me show you the picture of my giraffe. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? He is posable. Let's see, because see here, he's sitting. Here, he's kind of like laying down. He is oh wait, that's the same picture. Okay, here he's sitting. So cool, right? The pattern is so easy to read. It's almost too easy. If you are used to reading patterns, I mean, I'm not the greatest pattern reader in the world. If it's a complicated pattern, I can't figure it out. But amigurumi patterns, usually it's like all single crochet and an increase and a decrease, you know, increase this many times, decrease this many times. This is written very simplistic. And as a semi-pattern reader, I occasionally, like, I had to think, what are they saying here? Like, I couldn't figure out what they were saying. And you just really have to do what the pattern says to do. It doesn't say, she doesn't say increase in the next 2 stitches. She'll say, or they'll say, single crochet, how does she say it? I don't know. There were a couple of spots I'm like, she doesn't use a magic circle. I used a magic circle. So single crochet in each of the next 2 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and the next single crochet. So instead of saying single crochet times 2 and then increase, it's simpler than that, wordier than that. And so I like had to really concentrate because I'm like, oh wait, she wants me to increase in that stitch. Okay, I got it. So, or the book wants me to increase in that stitch. I had a little bit of trouble with that. But it's really, you just do, you know, if you follow it word for word, it's right there. It tells you exactly what to do. There's not like the shorthand that I'm used to. But very easy to follow along with. I really like the book. I love some, like, look at that dog. Oh my goodness. I gotta make him. And did you see the monkey? Seriously? But I did the giraffe because I could make him look like this with all the different colors on the body. And he's so posable. Look at his little tail. Has all the colors, all the bright colors. You know, his spots. Gosh, I guess he needs a spot here because he's kind of spotless on the front. I'm not doing it though. He's done. He's got all the spots on the back. I don't know. Maybe he looks like he's got weird chicken pox. I don't know. But he does. He's very posable. He does. I forgot. I didn't even put, because I was, so when you make this pattern, you start at the body. And I started the body, and you start here, and you work your way down. And at some point, you can just use your imagination. It looks like a bowling pin because you just have this part, and that's all you see. Like, get rid of the head, and you see this body. And I cannot figure out, because I started it, I got like almost done with the body, and I picked it back up, and I thought I was working on the head. And I could not figure out how this shape that now looks like a bowling pin or whatever else your imagination wants to make it is turning into that shape. And just picture this. And I just couldn't figure it out. And I went into Zoom and I was talking with my friends and I'm like, I can't figure it out. And finally, I think it was Joe from Joe's Web says, "Are you making the body or the head?" And I'm like, oh my God. This is what happens when you crochet when you're tired. When it's 8 o'clock at night and you've been up since 2 o'clock in the morning, you do not read patterns well or remember what you're doing. So anyway, he turned out, and thank you, Joe, for figuring it out for me. I'm pretty sure it was Joe or whoever it was. So I have never made a posable amigurumi before, and I just think this is the coolest thing. So will I make more of these? Without a doubt. Will I try to figure out how to make some of my other non-designed posable amigurumis to be posable? Oh, you got that right. Because it's too cool. And like I said, I tried to remember to put weights in the bottom so that they sit, and I forgot to do that. Half the time I forget to do it. And with this one, it's probably better that I forgot because he won't stand. His legs, I don't have them, I don't know if you can sew them on good enough and still make them posable. This is my first try. But he's head heavy either way. So maybe, but I think if I stuffed a few, I use those glass beads that you get from like the Dollar Tree for $1. Put a couple of those in the bottom of my Amis sometimes so that they're a little weighted. If I had thought to do that, I think he just would have done the splits and fallen down anyway. I did get his head sewn on a little crooked, but I kind of like it that way because he looks like, huh? What you talking about, Willis? So I did not name him because he's going to Chloe. Chloe can name him herself. If Chloe doesn't want it, which you probably would never say, oh, Grammy, I don't like that. But she loves giraffes, and she's asked me to make her a giraffe. But I'm going to let her off the hook if she doesn't like the colors because they're like way too bright for a 21-year-old, unless she's in a quirky kind of mood, which I hope she is because she can use some quirkiness in her life. I will give it to Avery because Avery also likes giraffes. Nobody likes elephants. There's something wrong with those people. So we'll let her sit there, the nameless one. Oh, one other thing I wanted to tell you. So it's supposed to have, like, it makes these sleepy little eyes. They're, I don't know, sad or sleepy. You're supposed to have an eyelid on there. And so they tell you to use the dark, like the chocolate colored, but I use the tan. And you go back and forth a couple of times and you make these little, and then you are supposed to crochet a little patch. They have a light yellow for the face and body and everything, and then a brighter yellow. I don't know if you can really tell that in the picture. But the ears, no. The horns and the patches on the eyelid are a different color yellow, a little bit brighter. And so then you sew that patch, eyelid patch, and leave a little bit of this showing as like eyelashes. And that's what kind of gives them the droopy, sad eye or sleepy eye. And I tried to do it out of, like, which color do you use when you have so many colors? And I tried to do it out of the orange, and I didn't like it. So I just omitted it and left him with just the yarn lines with no patch. So that is something that I did different. And I gave him brown eyes instead of, I think they have black eyes. I don't know. But I did do the safety eyes. Okay, so that's enough of him. He is done. He is emailed to Jan because that's what you do when you are not a contestant on Hooker versus Hooker this month. If you want, she does, or she's supposed to do, a video and have everybody's projects at the end, showcase all their projects. I just participate because I like to. I like to participate with my friends. So that one is done. Then, so those are my two finished objects. I had, this had to be done by the end of the month. The blanket had to be done by this coming Sunday. Got those done. I also like to participate in Judy from Witch Piece Crafts, Shutterbug AU, hashtag Shutterbug AU. And this month, or this, she does it twice a month. So I did a walrus at the beginning of the month. And her picture this time had blue and white in it. And Laura from Amy's Crochet and Farming picked the keychain I'm making this time. She picked one out of this book because I'm making them. I have 3 of these, 3 different. This one, endangered animals, I think. And birds, sea creatures, and animals. And they're all little minis, and I turn them into keychains, backpack buddies, just because I think it's a cute idea. And I wanted to work out of these books. So she picked the rhinoceros. There's not really much of a bigger picture. It shouldn't take me long to make it. It is made in pieces, which I'm learning to not like sewing on the little pieces in this book, but that's a close-up picture of him. He's cute, and I can put a keychain on the top of him, and he'll be adorable. If it turns out right. And I use Ice Yarns Alara to make these. It's a 3-weight yarn. I think they classify it as a 3-weight. Yeah. And I use a 4mm hook when I make these. So I have that all set and ready to go because I have to have that done for the end of the month so I can participate in hers. I don't participate as the prize drawing, but just participation, to support some of my friends. And another one of my friends, Angela, from My Precious Yarnery, that's right. I'm writing down names so I don't forget to put them in the description box. If you don't know any of these people, please click on their little link to their channel. Watch them, subscribe, like, do all the things that YouTube likes you to do, because they will appreciate it and I will appreciate it for them, with them. If you know them, go back and say hi. So I am using this yarn, Elements. This was gifted to me, and this color is called Prism. This was gifted to me by Nancy from She's Got Yarn Too. She just hit her 6,000. She just hit 6,000 subscribers, so go say congratulations to her if you haven't already. Oh, and Jo from Jo's Web, she just hit 3,000 subscribers, so go and pop over there and congratulate her. She has a giveaway going on. I don't know when it's over, so I hope we didn't miss it. So that's very exciting for the 2 of them. I'm so proud of both of them and happy for them. So this is the test pattern. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't this yarn beautiful in this? It's so pretty. So this has 328 skeins, 328 yards, which converts to 300 meters. It's 60% acrylic, 40% cotton, and it's made in Turkey. This will be such nice yarn and such a beautiful shawl for summer. I totally love the colors and the patterns. Angela did a fantastic job. She was asking that we have the testing done by May 1st because she's putting it in her dye boxes, her summer boxes, which we helped her come up with color names for, which was also so fun. I think you're going to love the colors. Chloe even helped pick out a name, which I'm not going to tell you because that's not mine to tell. Anyway, I am so excited for her boxes. I didn't order it because it's wool yarn and I can't do that. I am going to try to get her to dye some cotton for those of us that have animal fiber issues, because I would love to support her with also purchasing. So there's that. But anyway, her summer box is going to be coming out, and that is going to be included. The pattern, not my shawl, but that's in there. So it's not May 1st yet, and it's not done. If it's not done by May 1st, it's not a complete bummer because everybody else has, or a lot of people have completed theirs that we're testing, but we've done enough of the pattern, including myself, to know that the pattern works because I'm just working on the repeats. I have 2 skeins of that yarn right here. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh, just love the colors. So I have two skeins. When the 2 skeins is done, that's when the shawl is done. So there's that. That's the 2 things that I'm going to work on first. Then, this is what's coming up in my life. I have, I work this. The campground opens for the permanent campers this weekend. We can't go. I work Saturday. I work Friday. I work Saturday for a different job. Like my main job, I work Friday. A side job, I work Saturday. We have the shower on Sunday. No sense going out to the campground. But we're going to go out on Monday. And we store all of our lawn furniture in the camper. And then we bring the side. We put the stuff in, and then we bring the sides in, lock it up, do whatever you got to do. Normally, Roy winterizes, and then you have to unwinterize or summerize. Get all the antifreeze out of the lines and run water through to clear out the lines, and hook up the water, plug the camper in, get the sewer drains put in place and all that stuff. Normally Roy does that, but with his knee, he can't kneel down on his knees at this time. Eventually he should be able to do that, but not right now. The doctor says it takes about a year to completely heal, and he is October on the first knee and March on the second knee. So he's not within a year on either of those. So we paid to have that part done. So that should be done when we get there. But then we still have all of our stuff to bring out. Roy is walking very, very well. He can walk in the house without his cane. But he's very stiff when he first gets up. So he needs the cane for balance for the first couple of steps until circulation is going again. Here, he does that. He'll stand up. He'll just like move his legs for a minute, and then he can walk in the house. If he's outside, he uses the cane because you're still a little wobbly. His knees are not 100% either one of them because it hasn't been a year for either one of them. So he pushed the garbage can back. I told him not to, but he did it anyway. I'm like, I'm getting it. And I grabbed the one. He went over and grabbed the other one. They were empty, but, you know, if he got wobbly, you could set it down and he would be okay with it. So, because the concrete isn't always flat and there's, you know, bumps in the road or whatever. So he's not real stable. We want him to still use the cane. The garbage can would work, though. If he started to fall and set the garbage can down, he'd be able to lean on it and be okay. Getting the furniture out of the camper, however, there's no railings. He uses the railings and the cane on the stairs. There's a handle, so he'll be able to support himself through the handle and his cane. He's not going to be able to carry furniture out. I can carry the furniture to the door, and then he can stand on the deck and help get the furniture down and set it down. Then I can come down and move it out of the way. I think we can do that. I think he could walk on the deck, but it's not level. Like it's, you know, got some waves in it. The boards are older and, you know, so, if you don't pick your feet up all the way, you could trip on, you know, a wavy board or whatever. So it's not perfectly flat like my carpeted floors in the house, you know. So he needs his cane there. And that's fine. And then we have gravel. the whole campsite is gravel. We don't have grass there. And we did that on purpose because the grass stayed wet and the gravel dried out. You know, you don't get wet feet when you're walking in gravel that's thick. So we graveled our area. The gravel, I don't know how he's going to do in the gravel. So that's kind of scary. If he stays on the deck, he'll be good. But my friends will help us get the furniture out, help me get the furniture out. So that's our plan for Monday. And then I work throughout the week. So we're just going to be there for Monday. And then after I get off of work on Friday, we're going to go and we're going to spend an entire week, and mostly for the whole month of May, we're planning on being at the camper. We will come home. You know, we have to cut the grass, we have to check the mail, you know, that kind of thing. We'll come home throughout. But it's going to be more like the reverse of what we've normally done. Is we spend 5 days here and 2 days or 3 days at the camper. But for the month of May, I think that's going to reverse for us. I have to work 2 days a week at my main casino job, and I put them together because Roy's still off from work. He's not allowed to go back to work until June, sometime in June. So that being said, I'm working just 2 days a week, and I put them together so that we can stay at the camper. I mean, we're paying to be there. We want to be there as much as we can. And it's one level, so he doesn't have to do the stairs except to come in and out. It's only 3 steps. We have a golf cart. It's like 2 or 3 steps from the deck to the golf cart in the gravel, so that's not so bad. So I think it could be a really nice recovery place for him, even though there's no recliner. And so that's kind of, we're going to have to wing that somehow so he can get his legs up. And I've got a plan. I've got a plan, and I'll show you that if it works. Even if it doesn't, I'll still maybe show you what we're doing there. Anyway, the plan is to spend a lot of time at the camper, which means my yarn is here. So I have these whips that I'm working on, and I think, like, for the first week at the camper, I think I'm just taking my whips, and then I'll be able to get them done. I won't have a choice. I can't start anything new, even though there's new things I want to start. Lynette from Nina's Next Knots, she's starting her Tunisian project, and I really want to do it with her. I want to make Bag O'Day's shawl that she started in April, but I have all these other whips. I gotta finish those. So, and Amanda has some projects that she's working on that she's like, Mom, you gotta help me out. So I'll do that with her as well. So all of that being said, I want to start. Oh, Trisha, Mama Swift, she did the Zoom Aunties. She made a Zoom Aunties Afghan, and she used stitches that we all said were our favorite stitch, and she put it all together. She worked really hard, and now if you put a stitch in there, you have to make the Afghan. I have to do that too. And the pattern is sitting right there, but I don't have a time limit on that, and I want to get some of my other whips whipped up before I start that, just because if you get too many whips, nothing gets worked on. It's like it gets overwhelming for me. So I think over the next 2 weeks, it's just going to be whipping. I'm just going to be whipping on the whips after. I mean, it's really a whip because I committed to doing, to participating in the projects every 2 weeks. So it's kind of a whip, even though each one is an individual project. And I have to finish Amanda's thing too, because it's getting to be bathing suit weather. So I got to finish her cover up. Working on all of that. And I'm like, this whole whip corner, I think, is going to go to the camper, and it's going to get done. That's the plan. I hope it works out for us, or well, for me and for all my whips. So anyway, that's where we're at. That's what I've got going on. This has ended up being a longer video than I thought it was going to be when I only have 2 finished objects, but I still have so many whips to do. that's where my life is going over the next 2 weeks. I will bring you along as often as I can. Um, I do work a lot over the next week, which means not a lot of crochet time, so therefore not a lot of content or a lot of filming time. But that's okay. When I can, I'll catch up. Go visit all my friends, all my yarny friends. They're probably mostly your yarny friends too. So drop in, say hi, watch a video, like, subscribe, all those things. And I will see you guys in the next videos. Bye bye.